courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past and future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss the ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Fight the war. Fight the war. Oh, who cares why we're fighting? It's about the bite. Let the writers writing settle wrong from right. In the time of conflict, when the bullets fly, in the space of seconds, a life you cannot buy. Face the facts before you, face the simple truth. We're hopelessly outnumbered, it's tragic but it's true. Make your last formation, take the final road. Now it's time for endings, now it's time to go. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war. Souls in the ruins, rubble in the streets, corpses near the buildings, all is light and heat. Time to take a stand, boys, time to make a choice, time to find our courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past the future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss the ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war. Yeah, yeah. It's what I'm talking about. That's why I start the show this way, so I get to do the hominies like that. What is going on, everyone? Welcome, everybody. What's up, Arvanauts? Welcome to a Tuesday night stream here on April 14th, 2015. I think, low to mid-60s in the big city, so I think we can definitively say that snow is behind us. And finally, we're on to spring. In before blizzard tomorrow, but no, I think we're actually safe now. Good to see everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. Missed you guys. I am back from Ad Astra in Canada, and this time I'm back for a while. So now we're on to a normal routine schedule that will stay routine up through probably. Probably June, I would guess. There is, well, no, that's not totally true because we have ArvCon possibly happening late May, the last weekend of May, but that's going to be streaming anyway. So as far as sort of stuff that could interfere with streaming, I think we're in pretty good shape for a while. So, but it's good to see everybody. I am back, and I hope that everyone is doing well, and it's lovely to see all of you wonderful people. I will say hi to you all individually in just a minute, but before I do that, you guys know the way to help out the stream. The best way to do it is to do the !CTT to retweet the stream and or hit that video share button underneath the video window. That will allow you to let other people know about the stream and bring them in. which is something I always love to have happen because the more the merrier, of course. So you guys can do that. Exclamation point ARVTube will get you over to the YouTube channel where we are now sitting at about 302, 303 subscribers, which is awesome. And that will get you all the past broadcasts of the show if you want to catch up with stuff. And then last but certainly not least, we have exclamation point Steam Group. And exclamation point Steam Group will get you over to be a member of the Arvanauts on Steam. There we have 220 members, and that's where we kind of hang out in between streams and talk about the stream and other things and stuff like that. So that is what's going on with that. I will talk a little bit about stuff that went on this past weekend over the course of the broadcast. It was a lot of fun. I actually noticed Call's comment about being Canadian and apologizing for everything. So I want to actually remind me, Call, in a couple of minutes, remind me to tell you about that because there was something funny that came up about hanging out in Canada and apologizing for things. But I'll tell you guys when I see you. Oh, thank you so much for the host, Wes, man. We are the Romantics. Such a good dude. Wes is such a good guy. If you guys have not already done so, you should absolutely be following We Are the Romantics. Hope everything is good with you, Wes, and I hope everything is good with your boy. Hope everything is good with your kid. Yeah, good to talk to you guys. Anyway, but it's good to see everybody, and I hope everybody is doing well. Pillars of Eternity Day 6 tonight, Pillars of Eternity Day 7 on Thursday, and probably Pillars of Eternity Day 8 on Friday. I don't know whether Icewind Dale is happening this weekend or not. To be quite frank, I have been so completely overwhelmed with work and just like running around and travel and stuff like that I'm a little bit shell-shocked, jet-lagged, jet-shocked, shell-lagged. So I kind of need to sort of, clear my head and look around and be like, where am I? Oh, yes, this is where I am. So I don't know yet about the Icewind Dale thing, but it will certainly be happening sooner rather than later. So obviously you can keep tuned in for that. When we finish up with Pillars of Eternity, I'm going to be finishing up just a couple sessions will be all I'll need probably to finish Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, which we were doing before Pillars of Eternity. Then we're probably going to do a Fighting Fantasy game book, and then after that we'll see where things stand. We'll probably be closing in on The Witcher 3 at that point. That may very well be a part of the play going forward will be The Witcher 3, and then obviously we've got Arkham Knight, and we've got Sword Coast Legends, and we've got Shadowrun Hong Kong, and we've got the Numenera game, and just like, games all over the place. So there will be a lot of stuff that we'll be able to look at and do down the line. But anyway, that is what we're looking at here. So having said all of that, let me say hi to everyone before I actually reveal my face. What's up, Grimnir? Hello, Call. What's up with Intent? Hello, Trendane. Good to see you, Smacky. What's up, Sloth? What's going on, Love Shack? Hello, Crip. What's up, Hippo? Hello, Gray. What's going on, Dark and Wolf? Hello, Arcades. What's up, Thorg? And of course, Apples. Good to see you guys. Hope everyone is doing well. That's funny, love. Arv's class and race. I am a Elven Ranger, Crip. I am an Elven Ranger. And so, yeah, I'm going to be playing, but I am an Elven Ranger, so you can check me out if you so choose. So yeah, so that's that. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this, and let me turn on this. Good to see everyone. Hello all. Welcome. I am wearing my Newcastle United soccer jersey today. So a lot of blue that we got. Yeah, so it's good to see everybody. And I'm looking forward to some Pillars of Eternity and getting back into this and getting into a more normal routine. In a few weeks from now, I'll have the end of the semester. That's always got a little bit of craziness. I have Philadelphia Comic-Con coming up the first week of May, but that's going to be I'm going to be driving down and up the same day. That's not that big a trip. My next big convention is going to be Origins in Columbus, and that's not until June. So we got a while off for that. ArvCon, by the way, looks like it will be happening the last weekend of May. Still a lot of planning and stuff like that to be done, but just sort of, keep your eyes open for that, and we will let people know. So, good to see you, Grimnir, and everybody else. Any quests come up with racial options? No, not so far, Crip, although I have had some dialogue that's been affected by my being from the Deadfire Archipelago. In fact, I even put in a command just for the hell of it. Just because I love the fact that everyone I was talking to was like, oh, you're also from the Deadfire Archipelago? I think it's Kana, the chanter that I have now that I just found last game. He's from the Deadfire Archipelago, so I had a chance to kind of get some different dialogue options with him because of that, which was cool. So nothing as far as a quest, but that stuff is moving there. So Call. let's actually get the game started, and then I will tell this story about the apology tour, so to speak. But anyway, it is good to see you all, and it is time for some day 6 of Pillars of Forever, of all time, of more than 1 year. No, Pillars of Eternity. Hi, Messiah. What's up? How are you, Messiah? Let me make sure that I got that right. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Good. I got that right. Excellent. Want to make sure that I had not forgotten. Okay, so Call. Since you mentioned it was funny you brought this up. Call mentioned, for those of you who didn't see it, Call mentioned this Canadians apologizing for things. And I was in a panel. I'm looking at this, making sure that the stream is working as I'm saying it. I was in a panel on podcasting, and I was in a panel with a Canadian. Obviously, this was up in Toronto, so there were a number of Canadians. I was, we were talking about, he runs a podcast, which is actually a radio show up in Peterborough, which I guess is a small town in Ontario. He runs that, and then he, has it recorded and then edits a little bit and then puts it out essentially in podcast form. So it was a fun panel, and there were a lot of good panels there. Ad Astra was awesome, by the way, very good professionally, a lot of cool stuff that came out of it, including the D&D UI podcast that I did on Sunday with Ed Greenwood. And I'll tell you guys more about that later on. But, so we were having a good time talking about it. At one point, I'm talking about something relating to a podcast, one of the podcasts I had done. And he was just like, he's like, let me actually talk a little bit about this. He's like, I'm sorry, I hate to do this, but I was going to talk about a Canadian podcast. And I'm like, so I literally turned to him, I'm like, did you just apologize at a conference in Canada for wanting to talk about a Canadian podcast? He was like, so he looks at me, he's like, well, it's what we do, which is exactly what Call said. So I was like, well, America, all we want to talk about is American podcasts. It was really, really funny. I just couldn't believe he did that. I'm like, I'm really sorry. Is it okay if I talk about a Canadian podcast in Toronto? Is that okay? I'm like, yes, I think that's okay if you want to talk about that. Oh, God, it was precious. I was just like, dude, it's not just living the stereotype. It's like taking the stereotype and running with the ball. It really is. Oh man, Woodland Plains, is that where I am? I think that's where I am. I believe this is right. Oh, it was so funny. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? Seriously? He's like, yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. I had some fun interactions with Canadians all weekend, actually, including the border guards. I went, when I was driving up there, I drove up and back from Toronto. So on Friday, I drove up there. When I got to the border, the guy, took my passport, and he's just like, okay, what's your name? Where are you going? Where are you coming from? Why are you going to Toronto? Conference. What's it on? Fantasy and science fiction literature. What's up, Game Misconduct? Good to see you, man. He's like, what's going on? He's like, what is it on? And I said, fantasy and science fiction literature. And he pauses. He's like, so what's your favorite series? And I'm like, well, probably Lord of the Rings was the thing that first got me going, when I was a kid. He's like, well, yeah, but, you think outside the box for a minute. And I'm like, what? So I got into this 10-minute conversation with the guy about different fantasy series and all this stuff. And he talked about how he's like, oh, this is great. He took down my name and wrote down my name and all the information about the third sign. And I told him about Icarus coming out later this year. And I have this series coming out next year with Ed Greenwood, the Ed Greenwood group and all that. And he was just like, he's like, oh, this is great. And he's telling me about Brandon Sanderson and blah, 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 blah. It was really, really funny. So apparently, and on the way back, the American border guard also was asking me about that and was like, oh, I thought I had seen Icarus. You said it's a graphic novel? Yeah. He's like, I thought I saw it. I said, no, it's not out yet. He's like, oh, I'm going to definitely check that out. So it was really funny. Both up and back, the border guards were all about it. So it was pretty awesome. What's up, Tats? How do I like Pillars of Eternity? I like it a lot. I don't know that I'd say I like it better than Baldur's Gate. Yeah, exactly. I took out a knife and peed on everyone. No, I peed on the knife first. Then I put it on the desk, then I peed on him, because that's the real, yeah. I do like Pillars of Eternity a lot. I wouldn't say that I like it better than Baldur's Gate yet, just because Baldur's Gate is so huge, and Baldur's Gate 2 even bigger, and there's so much to it that I need to get a little farther into this to really see. The only thing I'm disappointed with so far, I have to say, is that I find that the banter among the characters is not nearly what it was in Baldur's Gate. So far, I've been kind of disappointed in that. Like, occasionally one of them's like, hey, what about this? And the other one's like, hey, whatever. And it's like a 2-second thing. So that's a slight, disappointment. But other than that, I love the quest structure. The leveling has been well paced and everything. So far, I'm digging it. So, yeah. And you know what's funny, Love, beyond that? What's funny is that he also said, he's like, the truth is, he's like, the first Canadian guy, he's like, I'm really a jock, I play, and his definition of jock is, I'm a hockey player. I'm like, of course you're a jock in Canada as a hockey player. He's like, I'm a jock and everything. He's like, but other than one other guy here, I'm the only one who reads this stuff. He's like, I read all the Star Wars and Star Trek encyclopedias and everything. It was really, really funny. It was like, that's awesome. Hey, what's up, Mike? I was just talking about Ad Astra, Mike. I was talking about how the border guards, both going into Canada and coming from Canada, are apparently big fantasy and science fiction fans. It was awesome, though. It was a really good time. Actually, your name came up in panels a couple times, Mike. You'll be happy to know. Yeah, I chatted with Gail Martin was there. The Ed Greenwood stuff was great. A lot of really, really exciting stuff coming out with that. They've got a couple other people on board, which is really exciting. Not just authors, but actual publishers that they're partnering with for their distribution networks. So they're smart, Mike. They're doing really cool stuff. So I'm very excited about that. So that was really cool. A lot of really good panels. Had a really awesome panel on lifting the veil, basically talking about the veil in fantasy between our world and the other world that you're discussing, and a lot of really interesting stuff came up about that. So that was really cool. Had a panel about the business of writing, which I would say with Monica Pacheco. I don't know if you know her. She was the agent guest of honor at Astra. She's with the McDermott agency. I had heard her name before, so she was very nice. And she was on a panel with me and a couple of other people on the business of writing. And I'm not going to say anything about it except to say that there was a little bit of tension in that panel, I'll just say that, among a couple of the panelists, not involving me at all, but there was a little bit of tension from people who clearly disagreed with each other's position on business. It was funny. Yeah, she seemed very nice. She seemed very, very nice. I've only done the first level of the Endless Paths, and that was it, Thor. That was the only one. There was some talk about Sad Puppies, actually, a little bit of it, yes. And I'm going to be interested to hear Mike's thoughts about it, too. I actually am recording tomorrow night a thing with both my compatriot Brad on the podcast Speculate that I do, and also with Justin Landon, who now is with Tor.com. We're going to be talking about City in the City and China Mieville. But I'm wondering if that subject is going to come up, because Justin has been talking about how the Hugos have a major problem well before the Sad Puppies thing popped up, and I agree with him. I think the Hugos were broken already, and I don't think this has helped. So, yeah. And yes, I would be happy to talk. Yes, exactly. I think you'd be interested in this tension, actually, Mike, for sure. But yeah, I was really excited about the Ed stuff. The business guys are just so smart that I think they really have a lot of good ideas sort of set up. Now, again, this is thinking outside the box a little bit, a lot of what they're doing. It's definitely ambitious, but I just feel like there's more resources behind it and a lot better planning than might have been the case otherwise. So I think it's a very good, if it is a risk, it's a calculated risk. So, oh God, City in the City was so good. Exactly, Hippo. Wasn't me. Yeah, the Sad Puppy slate. To summarize it very quickly, what happened was, and then I do actually want to get into we got to make sure we actually get into the game. But what happened was, so the Hugo Awards, you guys probably know, are the biggest fantasy and science fiction award given out every year. They are voted on generally by attendees to Worldcon, which is the World Science Fiction Convention that's been running since the 1930s. To nominate, you have to be a member either of the current Worldcon, which in this case is Sasquan, that's the one in Spokane, last year's, which was in London, or next year's, and I've already forgotten where that is. I don't remember where next year's is. Mike, do you remember where next year's is? Anyway, you have to be a member of one of those to nominate people for the different categories, and then you have to be an attending member to actually vote on the slate. So a couple of years ago, there were a group of people who skew more right of the political spectrum, who felt like science fiction and fantasy had been, as they saw it, taken over by the social justice warriors. And there is a tie-in to gaming, which I'm going to tell you guys about in a minute. That's how they saw it. And so they argued that there were a lot of books that were getting ignored. And so they put together, they started advocating for more conservative writers, basically to get a chance. People like Larry Correia, Brad Torgerson, another guy named Theodore Beale, people like that. And eventually, that came together as kind of an impromptu slate. And this year, we really saw it, where essentially they put together a slate of candidates that were approved. I will say that Speculate, the podcast I run, was not part of this approved slate, apparently, which is neither was Skiffy and Fanty, which Mike participates in. So apparently neither one of us rate. So as a consequence, the slate is just a group of people. Oh, Kansas City? Oh, okay. That's right, Kansas City. So it was basically a group of people that decided that they wanted a certain political thing to be represented. And so the slate is a very strange slate of candidates. Like there's a few editors, people like Jennifer Brozek that I know who are not necessarily associated with them. And there are some others that got nominated but wouldn't technically identify with them, but they were like, I guess they weren't threatening enough. Like, for example, Adventures in Sci-Fi Publishing is a podcast that got nominated. Now, I know Tim Ward a little bit, who runs that show. And Tim's fine, and I don't think Tim is part of this. I don't think Tim doesn't strike me as some reactionary conservative, but he kind of ended up being associated like trial by fire. This is such a big deal that it's actually been talked about on Daily Kos and in the mainstream news, and George Martin talked about it as well. So what a lot of people now want to do is they want to vote no award, which basically means that no one would get the Hugo in that particular category for that year. But the truth is that this is not going to go away, and I think the real reason this is all happening... Oh, Rabid Puppies? Okay, yeah, sorry. Rabid Puppies, which is a sort of not competitive slate, but it's like a slate that was tied into Sad Puppies. Anyway, Rabid Puppies is sort of like even more than Sad Puppies, like more right-wing, basically. And the problem to me, and this has been a problem for years, is that the fan base that is voting on the Hugos is not large enough. It is not, you should not have 2,000 people total that have enough money to be able to attend a Worldcon as the people who are nominating and or voting on the Hugos, I'm sorry. That is not a large enough base, it's not a representative enough base, and it means that anyone who has an organized campaign like this can seriously skew the nominations. So you could say, well, the way to do it is to have a slate against it, but then it's just like, it's like voting party line in American politics, like Democrats and Republicans. Like, it just, to my mind, ruins the award. So I think the Hugos were broken well before this, in my opinion. And I mean, there's numerous examples of this, but I mean, there are people that have been in the field and involved with producing great fantasy and science fiction that haven't gotten a sniff of the Hugos well before the Sad Puppy, Rabid Puppy thing happened. And it had nothing to do with their politics. It's because they wrote fiction that didn't sort of fit the, critical mold of what people thought the Hugos ought to be. And by people, I mean the couple thousand people that can afford to go to a Hugo. So, Right. And that's the other thing that Mike points out is true. So Vox Day, Theodore Beale, made his own thing called the Rabid Puppies. Here's the worst part. Then they reached out to Gamergate. They got connected with Gamergate, and they encouraged people to buy in so that you could fight against social justice warriors in literature also. So it was a nightmare. It was bad. And you're right about that game. But I mean... And the Hugo becoming a game of competing slates would be terrible. So what I have advocated for a while, and this was Justin Landon's idea initially, is I think that it needs to be moved to a different venue and the voting requirements need to be broadened. Now, Justin's suggestion, which came up from talking to a few people, was to hold it at Gen Con at the Writers' Symposium, and there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, Gen Con is much larger than any Worldcon will ever be at this point. Gen Con is between 50 and 55,000 every year, growing every year, and just the symposium by itself, just the Writers' Symposium side, attracts 2,500 to 3,000 people, which is the same amount that some of the smaller Worldcons attract. So just the writers by themselves, having nothing to do with the games, you've got almost as much as a Worldcon. Then when you bring in the larger gamer culture from Gen Con, which is a big science fiction and fantasy audience, a lot of these companies, remember, Paizo, Wizards of the Coast, Catalyst, they're putting out their own novels as it is in fantasy and science fiction, right? So there are tons and tons of readers who do crossover here. By increasing it and allowing it to be people who were, let's say, attending Gen Con, you would have a much larger base. You would have a strong writing focus that would be associated with it, and you would broaden it out to a base that, frankly, isn't just the sort of aging fandom that you're increasingly seeing at Worldcon. And it doesn't have to be there. You could also look at Dragon Con as an option too. But just having it be based solely on, like, you know, a few people that can afford to pay to go to these things means the Hugos were broken, in my opinion, long before the Sad Puppy Rapid Puppy thing. So the Sad Puppy Rapid Puppy thing is really bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, that is sort of the culmination of bad. But I think the Hugos have had problems for years. So that's my, you know, in my opinion, that's what I would do to solve it. I think you need to broaden out the base. So. Oh, for sure, Hippo. For sure. I mean, like, part of the argument, the reason that the puppies argument is so dumb is that science fiction has been political for years. For years. It's been political. And science fiction at its best is progressive. Look at Star Trek. Was there a more progressive TV series than Star Trek in its day? A series which included an interracial kiss, the first one on American television, which had a multiracial crew working in harmony together, a multi-ethnic crew that involved a Russian in the middle of the Cold War. I mean, Star Trek was completely progressive at the time. So the idea that somehow science fiction didn't used to be political and now it is nonsense. It's just nonsense. I agree with that, Mike. Totally agree. Yeah, that's fine. I agree with that entirely. Having it reduced to Worldcon is just not credible anymore. I think it just doesn't make the award credible. It's too small. It's not a big enough base of people, and it's not representative of the reading audience. Like, I know a lot of my viewers read fantasy and science fiction, and very few of them are going to Worldcon. A lot more of them are going to Gen Con, and a lot more of them are going to some convention that has some connection to it, but not Worldcon. So why Worldcon is the only one that deserves to have the Hugos? I don't agree. So, okay. Right. Okay, what are we doing now? Exploring the endless paths. Find the ruins. I did that. Trails of Durance. Fragments of a scattered faith. The Records Archive. Okay. Defiance Bay. Okay, Saints War. And the Temple of Wodica. Excellent. Lovely. What's up, Apples? Sorry. What did I do with Merwald? I released him. He attacked me, Thorg, and I released his soul. Hugo was a badass in Third Strike. I mean, the thing is that Hugo's, you know, again, the Hugos are one of the most important... Really? Your name is Bridgman? Really? I mean, the Hugos are a major, major deal. Okay, good. The Hugos were the most important award that we have in our genre, and right now it's being awarded by a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the people who actually read in the field. So, yeah, I mean, right. If they're going to, well, I mean, listen, it may have started that way, but if you're going to make the award the fundamental award that gets thrown on the top of the covers, like Hugo winner, Hugo nominee, you know, all that kind of stuff. If you're going to do that, then it is your obligation to, you know, to create an award that's reflective of the overall voting base, and that is not Worldcon right now. So either they preserve its legacy by doing what you and I are suggesting, or we need a new award. Simple as that. Either we need a new award that really reflects actual fantasy and science fiction readers across the genre, or Worldcon has got to do something to address it. So one or the other, you know. Welcome to Defiance Bay, but watch yourself in our city. Don't threaten me. What is it? I'm looking for the Temple of Wodica. Huh, if you say so. It's in First Fires, just west of Crucible Keep. Thanks. That helps. I totally know now where I'm going.
Hello.
Yeah. Hugo always wins. He's number one. Well, yeah, that's true, Hippo. But, you know, if that's the case, then it means that all the rest of the authors... There you go. There you go. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It would make more sense to have a stronger. Yes, I agree with you. And Hippo, what I would say is, you say presuming there's a you. I think you're right about that. But if they don't want to give it away, then they should have it taken away from them. I mean, if they want to hold on to the Hugos, that's fine. But the Hugos, as a representative of the most important award in fantasy and science fiction, cannot belong to them alone. And if they want to keep it, then they're just going to have another award that replaces it. Wouldn't be the first time it's happened in reality or in history. I mean, there have been many times where that's happened. They should not have the right to bury their heads in the sand and continue to do the same thing over and over again, or just be really angry that people are using. I mean, keep in mind, I totally disagree politically and otherwise with the rabid and sad puppy slates. I disagree with it. I don't, but what they did was not illegal. You could argue it's not ethical technically, but it's not like they're cheating in quotes. They went out and they used the rules that the system has provided to them, and that's because the system is broken. So, I mean, it's in a way, the idea that somehow people should feel as if it's the voters' fault for using the system as provided to them is nonsense. It's the fault of the fact that the system is not a good system to begin with. So, yeah, that's fine. They can take... well, I guess, Game, but I think I think part of that is because, people felt like liberal had gotten tainted somehow as a term. Yeah, and I think what Hippo said is basically that's basically the feeling about it. And yeah, it's true, Mike. I agree with you that it's their football, but it's their football to take it home if they feel like it, but it's not, but then the Hugos should not mean as much as it does right now. If they want to say the Hugos is only for us, then let it be only for them, and another award needs to be created that will reflect fantasy and science fiction generally. They don't have the right to take the most important award, period, and bring it home with them. They can take the name of the Hugo home if they want, but then that should be taken from them as an important award. They can keep the Hugo and do whatever they want with it, but as far as its importance and significance, that they do not have the right to maintain that. And so, it's up to them. Yeah, I mean, every member gets a vote, but I don't. It's not right. It's not a secret inner cabal. That's the stupid rabid puppies claim. I mean, it's stupid. There's no inner cabal. It's not that. It's that it is by its nature an exclusionary vote because it requires people to drop money to do it. Simple as that. There are people who can't afford to buy money or can't afford to buy a Worldcon membership to vote on the most important award in the field. And quite frankly, people who have the money, who tend to be more affluent and older, that should not be the person. Those should not be the people making the only decision for fantasy and science fiction, period. So, progressive is associated with rock music. There you go. That's right, Messiah. That's how we could really solve that problem. So, yeah, I mean, agreed, Mike. It is going to lose its luster, but I think that, we can sort of push that as well. That's true. Yeah, the locust might. I would just make the argument that I still think you need a wider base. Now, the Gemmel, I don't know as much about the Gemmel, actually. I mean, I know of it, obviously, but I have not followed its development as much. I know about the locust. That, too, has got its own concerns. But in general, like, I don't know. I just think there needs to be an award that has a broader voting base associated with it as the principal award. The Nebula Awards are awarded by authors to authors, and that's the way it should be. I have no problem with that staying as it is. But that's not what the Hugos are about. The Hugos have become the award that defines the best, books and literature and, podcasts and, movies in the field in the genre, and that should not be restricted to a few thousand people. I don't know. In my view. 50,000 a year, really? I didn't know that. Damn, son. I did not know it was that much. Yes, let's get into the game. Alrighty. Blah, 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 blah. What can you tell me about Defiance Bay? Actually, no. You seem to be on edge. What's the problem? Thousands of them, truth be told. We got refugees coming in from all parts under some misguided notion that things are actually better here. that the legacy somehow passed us over. So they show up with no prospects and little money and just end up making a worse mess of things. No offense. None taken. What's up, Seven Wind? Oh, I'm not worked up. I'm not worked up. I'm just, you know, I was just because somebody asked about sad puppies, and that's definitely been an issue, so. Okay, tell me about Defiance Bay. Sorry, but I don't have time right now. But it sounds like that Dozens crackpot Rowan is stirring up trouble again. He'd be all too happy to give you a rundown of the city. Liberally flavored with Dozens propaganda, of course. Dozens, huh? What about the temple? I'm not sure why I'd want to go there. It's in the first fires if you really want to see it. Goodbye. And good luck to you. Alright, I don't know what this propaganda business he's talking about is, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it, of course, Mike, but I had not, I don't know, I really had not paid a lot of attention to it, so. That was the deal. Barf and Elrond. Wow. Wow. Did I answer your question from earlier? Let me see. I'm looking up, I'm scrolling up to see it. Oh, what did I do with Merwald? Yeah, so he attacked me. I had to kill him. And then I released his soul because I'm not going to enslave him and I'm not going to like do some bizarro vampiric thing. Yeah, puppyganda, right? Oh, I want to check something very quickly here. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, cool. All right. Hey, what's up, Polar? It was good, man. It was good. It was a very good conference. I had a good time. Aha. Is that stealing? No, it's not stealing. It's just good fruit. Good fruit. And vegetables. Fruits and vegetables. This place is obviously...
Let's see what lies this way.
Alright. Hippo. Well, you know, it's funny, and it wasn't at the conference. It was just that everyone, you know, people were chatting about it because it was kind of its own thing. So, all right, big city time. Big city time. Yeah, it was fun. The Dungeons and Dragons podcast, UI podcast Sunday afternoon was fun. Not a huge audience. I think they could have done a better job. The Ad Astra people maybe could have done a better job letting people know about it. But it was definitely a lot of fun.
Defiance Bay.
Ooh.
The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another.
I just completed Act 1, guys.
Line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Nice. Act 1 complete. Act 2 begins. All right, sounds good, Thorg. Beginning of Act 2. Whoa! Holy cow! The Goose and Fox, the marketplace, Admet's Den Expedition Hall, Pernus's house, that's the world map, Lumdala's house, Scrivener's dormitory, the Hall of Revealed Mysteries, First Fires, that's where the temple is, the catacombs, Brackenberry. Where is all this crap? Oh my god, so much stuff! I know, right? It's true. That's true, Thord. So much of the stuff. Okay, Temple of Woedica, I know about that. But I actually want to go to the Records Archive. In the Ducal Palace. Where is that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that new music, though.
Defiance Bay. If ever there was a dry field in need of a cleansing flame, you have found it.
Ooh, not stealing. Yeah, Whiteleaf. Up. What's going on, bro? Firing people up. What's going on, bros? Rowan's arms are crossed. Where'd you get the dog? At the inn in the Gilded Vale, Thorg. Hey, what's up, Lego? Yeah, the Black Hound, yeah. Rowan's arms are crossed and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sizes you up. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and find the legacies no better here. It's the Animancers Magrins scorch 'em, and they nest in this city like rats. You mark my word, though, us dozens are going to put a stop to it. What are you doing out here? He gestures at the ground, which buzzes with angry chatter. Trying to get folk to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting Animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know about Animancy? It's the study and manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adirans at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul readings those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Angwithan times, which is why you'll see Animancers tinkering with the old Angwithan's artifacts. Connor raises a fist to cough discreetly into it. Half-truths all, but he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. Hey, what's up, Magic Canada? Man, so much with the Canada. I love it. Rowan shakes his head. Trouble is, the Animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Our empathic friend is correct about one thing, at least. Tell me about the dozens. We're an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We're going to kill everybody and then let God sort it out. No. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Alright, sounds cool. Thanks for stopping by, Mike. We shall chat more about things later. Business writing stuff that came up, yeah. But good to see you, man. Just like a militia that doesn't, except for the training, and the discipline, and the code of honor. Nice. His eyes gleam. And we're always looking to expand. What's up, Parker? Good to see you, man. The more people see things our way, the better for the state of the country. You have any interest in hearing more, stop by Admet's Den sometime, the Expedition Hall. A lot of free thinkers in there, can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the Animancers want you to believe. Might even be some paid work there for motivated types. Interesting. Yeah, Parker, I'm going to have, we're recording our first of the new duology of shows that we're doing tomorrow night late. So I will get that to you probably sometime either Wednesday night late or Thursday, just so you know. I'd like to know more about Defiance Bay. This is the capital of the Free Palinodate of the Deerwood. We started out as the capital of an Adiran colony, but we booted the Flaccid Scepter from these lands 150 years ago. Flaccid Scepter, huh? Sounds like a personal problem. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world. But we, well, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Andra's Gift, Brackenberry, and Heritage Hill. He ticks each off on a calloused finger. A lot of calloused fingers in this game. Tell me about Copper Lane. This here is Copper Lane. He taps a scuffed boot on the cobblestones. It's primarily a market district, but you've also got the Expedition Hall directly north of here, where you can join treks into the wilds. That's also where my fellow Dozens Martyrs and I tend to meet up with other concerned citizens. He points to a long domed building west and north of your position. And that's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, you ask me, but they've got the biggest library in the Deerwood. All right? That sounds like a good place. Kana laughs. Eerie indeed. It might be less so if more kith stepped inside. Perhaps we ought to visit Arvanelleron and see just what mysteries are revealed. They're all guitar players, yeah. Tell me about Brackenbury. A noise of disgust rattles in his throat. Ugh. The nobility that didn't sail back to Adir stayed there. Most of the families there trace their lineage back to old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Hadrid House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenbury Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city. He spits in the cobblestones. Has there ever been a sanitarium in any game that wasn't a freak show? Can anyone think of one? There's a sanitarium, or the equivalent of it, like an asylum, in Batman, in the Arkham games. We know what that's all about. The sanitarium in Thief is is terrifying. This place sounds like a joy. This is called Sanitarium, which is freaky. I'm telling you, man, sanitariums, you do not want. Tell me about First Fires. That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace. Okay, that's where I need to go for Ader. The Valyrian Embassy and Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just strutting peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their asses. There's an old Temple of Wodica there, too. We keep it real nice for her. He winks. Tell me about Andra's gift. You right, Messiah? Got the name because it was a wetland that was drained back in the Imperial days. Now it's a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place, too, if you know where to look. He winks and elbows you. Look for a place called the Salty Mast when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Alright, tell me about Heritage Hill. He shivers. It used to be one of the more prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots up there next to an ancient Angwithan tower and the city cemetery. Had the best views in Defiance Bay. Attracts richer types these days. A lot of animancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple months ago. The authorities sealed it off, and they're keeping their mouths shut, but mark my words, animancy's to blame. Okay. Farewell. All right. What do you think? All right, so we have a lot of people who are against animancy. Got it. You definitely got some animancy problems. I know, right, Apples? I was troubled by that myself. I was like, All right. So we got a lot of stuff to do. We have to explore this area right here. We got to explore this area. And then we have to go to First Fires, and First Fires is where we'll do the Temple of Wodica quest, and where we'll also help out Ader with his thing. So I think I want to go up to the marketplace and kind of check some of this stuff out, I think. Animancy for life? Yeah, we'll see. Haven't made up my mind about it yet. What is this place? The Goose and Fox. Let's find out what's going on in the Goose and Fox. The first key to any city, check out the inn. It's the first thing you do is check out the inn. And ignore the obvious NPCs. Actress. Oh, that music though. Maiden Falls, 2682. All right. E-roll of Levi looks on enigmatically from the canvas.
Hail and well met.
The man behind the bar is nearly the size of an Amoa. A handle protrudes from his back, and his face is set in a stoic frown. He gives you a small nod. Here for a drink? You say a handle protrudes from his back? Like someone stabbed him? That's a good question, Lego. It'll happen, man. It'll happen. You just need more experience rolling those high numbers. There's a tiny pewter cup in front of him. He turns it in one broad hand but doesn't drink from it. This is a lively place. It was founded in the early days of Deerwood Independence by a traveling scholar named Errol of Levi. He wanted a place where kith of all backgrounds could gather and hash out the issues facing their new country. He rests his elbows on the polished wood of the bar. Didn't take long for the place to fill up. Brackenbury aristocrats argue with dock workers from the Gift, while soldiers wrangle with politicians. Deerwoodans have never been known to turn down an argument. He takes a sip from the tiny cup. I can imagine things got interesting. Soon, kith were coming from the farms and settlements, too. He waves at the door as if expecting a crowd to bustle in. This place got even more popular with Avalian sailors in the salty mast, and that was the problem. No matter what people say about fair-mindedness and civil debate, there's only so much people will tolerate. Errol found himself on the wrong side of an argument with the wrong Thane, and when he disappeared a few days later, some said it was the work of that Thane. But Errol knew which way the wind was blowing. If you ask me, he skipped town, hid out somewhere hoping for rational minds to prevail in Defiance Bay. If only he could see it now. Tell me about yourself. Oh, wow. Name's Bishop. Used to be a scholar of Bereth. Now I run the Goose and Fox and keep the regulars in line. He shifts and you see a warhammer strapped to his back. Okay. Okay, so in other words, he didn't get stabbed and he isn't walking around with a knife in his back. Okay. That's better. What more is there? What's up, Law? Final Fantasy fragrances? What more is there? How'd you go from religion to taverns? Journey isn't as long as you'd think. It started with Hollowborn, and with this. He takes a black bottle from under the bar and fills the pewter cup. It was my sister's son. Are you drinking your sister's son? Huh. At the beginning of Widewind's legacy, he was one of the first. I never expected there would be so many after him. Tragedy is part of the cycle, but it's followed by rebirth. Yet every year, more parents are grieving for their Hollowborn children, and the gods were silent. So you lost your faith? He leans forward, crossing his arms on the bar. Bereth promises rebirth, cycles. But the only cycle I found was this one. Have a drink, have another, and another until I couldn't remember how I got home. Wake up, come back. I finally woke up one day to see my family had packed up and left. For all I know, they'd left days before and I just hadn't noticed. But they were gone, so I came here. I've cleaned up since then. Not that I've found my answers. I've just stopped asking questions. Wow. That's hardcore. Oh. Yellow lab. That's cool. But I don't need that at the moment. I got my, Actually, wait a minute. I can sell you stuff.
Good day, stranger.
Should be able to sell you stuff. Who is AJ Lee? Should I know that name? Okay. All right. Trade for 770 gold. Woohoo! How much would you pay? But wait, there's more. Now how much would you pay? But wait, there's still more. I think I might be close to it. Yes. Yay! 4,000 gold. Well, speaking of that. Speaking of 4,000 gold, how are we doing on this stuff? Okay, 1 day, 13 hours. Alright, that's fine.
How do you do?
Can I get more camping supply? Yes, I can. Alright. Nice. Back up to... Whoops. Oh, okay. And I got my 4. Cool. Lovely. Alright, who else we got in this place? Oh, we got something up there. What's up, mercenary? It's a good place to unwind between jobs. Sometimes I even find new ones. Who the hell are you? A woman sits by herself, spitting something on the table in front of her and watching it with furious intensity. It's about the size of a coin, and it wobbles over a crack in the wood with a metallic rattle. She snatches it up with one hand and slams a half-empty cup down on the table with the other. This is not a good time. What are you doing here? Just trying to calm down and try to talk myself out of something foolish. Something foolish? She says nothing for a few moments, as if hoping you'll leave. At last, Kainra looks up at you, and lamplight falls across her face. A purpling bruise is blossoming along her cheekbone. Oh, man. Are you getting abused? Listen, if you're getting abused by a husband, I am here to stop that crap. There's something I need to give to my fiancé, Pernisk. Only he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends, and they're not exactly pleasant company. Who hit you? I know how this looks, but you don't understand. It's not like Pernisk. It's these new friends of his. They brought out the worst in him. That's crap. That's crap. You deserve better. I don't know you at all, but still you deserve better. Tell me about these new friends. They come into our house with their dead eyes and their black teeth. I'm not a fool. I know what it means. Pernisk makes me leave when they show up, but it's obvious what they come to do. Last time they came, I told them to get out. Let them have their fun somewhere in the gift, but not under my roof. She scowls and then winces, her fingertips gently probing her bruise. Svef changes you, I guess. The Pernisk I knew wouldn't have squashed a spider. I never thought he'd... She trails off, still feeling the swollen, discolored flesh. Okay, let's see. But Svef makes people calm and listless. It shouldn't make them violent. Kainra shrugs. I don't really know. Seemed better than believing he's always been this way. Maybe I could go talk to him. Her hand rests on the table and she clenches into a white-knuckled fist. There's nothing more to say to him. We're finished. I just want to give this back to him and have a clean break. She opens her hand and a ring clatters onto the table. It was his grandmother's. Even after this, I don't have the heart to sell it off. But if I go back there myself, I know what'll happen. I lose my temper and I'll probably wind up with another one of these. She points to her bruise. But I've heard you're trustworthy. I am trustworthy. If you give this back to him, he'll know we're done. Alright, I'll take this ring to Pernisk then. She looks at you and nods. The house is just north of here. Just, please don't hurt him. As furious as I am, I don't want that on my conscience. Alright. I feel like I ought to try to figure out a way to get them together again, though. The dragon is outlined in charcoal pencil. The thick, jagged lines and the faint smell of sulfur suggest that the artist completed this sketch in a hurry. Cliff Dragon, White March, 2685. That's kind of funny. Why sigh, apples? Oh, that's stealing. Ah, shoot. Alright, let me check out a few other things in here, and then we'll go give that ring to Pernisk. A dwarf and an Orlan debate philosophy on the other side of the curtain. What? Is that like a secret, like, philosophy room? What the hell is that? Painting depicts Glanfithin ruins, and the canvas bears the rough brushstrokes of a talented amateur. Ibral's Well, 2665. Oh no. Alright, see you, Lo. Alright, let's check out upstairs and then let's go give up that ring. Ooh, here we go. Now we got some people here. Who the hell are you? Dayton is busy filing a spur off a small round bullet. Okay, who are you? Busy Omar raises a hand in greeting. Who are you? Ilfa nods you, a pint in one hand and a mace slung over his shoulder. Do any of you talk, or... Okay, cup of wine in her hand, a scepter across her lap.
Well met, friend.
Ah, an Orlan man relaxes with his feet propped on the table. Patches of dark brown skin peek out from under a full mane of blue-green hair. He and the Orlan woman with him exchange lights. Welcome back, Crip. Exchange laughs and comments with the trio at a nearby table, and he spins a dagger in his hand. You look like you've seen a night or two in the wilds. Joining us for a drink? Who are all of you? The name's Two-Tone Weaksel. The lady next to me is Key. We've had our fun with the expeditions, but we were hoping to enjoy a little peace and quiet. For the next few weeks, anyway. Man at the next table nods at you. I'm Dreadshot Dayton. This is Hurdy and Ilfa. We were part of separate expedition teams, but we both suffered losses and decided to band together. He ticks several items off his fingers. Beasts, barbarians, Beowicks. It's a dangerous time to be an adventurer, but a prosperous one, too. And here's to many more prosperous journeys. I'll bet they're not drinking water. I'm just saying. Is there something else you wanted? That's it? Oh. Okay. That was awesome. Thanks. Scattered amongst such titles as Floor of the Living Lands, A History, Unity and Disunity, A History of the Deadfire Archipelago, and treatises on the Kulkan people are half a dozen travel journals held together with twine.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Doesn't say I'm stealing.
I'll see what I can do.
Fruit and lockpicks. Stash. 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 Lovely. Oh. Defiance Bay. So I have to find Ludrana. Another thing, Defiance Bay. The gift. Still don't know where the gift is. That is stealing, though. Most unfortunate tale of Favia and Burnett, a Valian tragedy. Scene. Leia watches Burnett approach Favia's tree looking for a human form. Behold, now comes the fun, that for which I have waited. His love is forfeit, her life is forfeit, and all I have worked toward shall be fulfilled. He says he knows his love. He says no force in the world could keep him from her. But what chance has force against guile? Never will he find his love, for she is no longer his love. The spell cannot be undone except by her death, and by then it will be too late. But wait, he has seen her. She steps back to observe. Pray, mortal, why have you come here? These woods are not for your kind. The affairs of men have no place at this tree. Leave. Leave ere your welcome lapses. Foul creature, where is my love? What have you done with her? Always this has been the station for our encounters. Never before have I seen you. Where is my love? Answer. Answer ere my patience lapses. Fool, this is my land and this is my tree. Your presence never before has been felt. Sorry, hold on a second. Again I say to you, leave. My generosity will not be extended a third time. Leia steps forward again. Talk, discussion. I know the way to hurry the conclusion of this tale. Leia takes a breath and extends her throat as if she's yelling. A scream comes from the copse of trees where the Pogra stands. My love! Burnett steps forward, brandishing his sword. Prepare yourself, wretch, for not even death can stand between me and my love. I will have her from you, or you will meet your end. Burnett moves towards Favia, who closes to fight. They fight. During the fight, Burnett is grievously injured as he delivers the killing blow to Favia. She falls to the ground, and as she dies, the spell in her breaks, transforming her back into her Delimgan form. Burnett, my love, what have you done to me? What was it I said? What was it I did? Has our love soured in your heart? Favia, my love, my life, what foul sorcery has befallen you? How have you come to be laid low by my hand? Fie to the gods for such treachery, fie to all who stood in our way. Fear not, my beloved, for now we are together, and together will always will be. Together will always will be. Nothing can keep us apart. But lo! Why is it suddenly so dark? Where has the sun gone? Where are you? I cannot see you. I will find you. I will... Favia dies. A curse upon the fiend who has betrayed me, to hold love in your hand and have it wrenched away. Burnett winces and puts his hand in his shirt. It comes out covered in blood. What luck! What chance! Tragedy may yet turn to fortune. Favia, my love, soon I will rest in your arms. We will lie together again as one, and forever shall we be side by side. I go now to meet my love. Berath, I accept your cold embrace. I welcome your company. I beg your mercy. Burnett lies down next to Favia's body. I am ready. Burnett dies. Leia steps out from a hiding spot and runs to Burnett's body. Burnett, you fool! You wretch! How can you leave me? I am alone. I am forgotten. I am cast out. Without your love, how can I continue? Life holds no thrall without your visage upon which I may gaze. What shall I do? But here, my salvation, my answer. Leia picks up Burnett's sword. His blade, his weapon. I shall be impaled upon him, and he shall cut through me. I will not be denied, my love. I will not be denied, my love. You will be mine, if not in this life, then in the next. Leia impales herself on the sword. I come for you, my love, my Burnett. Wait for me and I will find you. We shall love forever. Leia dies. Wow. And then they go into death, and then she's really pissed because they still have the love triangle going on. So she brings him back to life, and then the other one follows him back to life so she could be with him, and then, like, yeah. A+ poetry. Yeah, yeah. It certainly is something. The pages of these old books are crisp and fragrant with the salt of a sea breeze. All right. Olvelia, Southern Coast, 2670 AI. Alright. So, let's go give this ring up then.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Nice. His visage, and something about thralls. I know, right? It just kind of gets you right here, right, Smacky? Like, right in the feels. Alright, we're gonna go give this guy his ring back. I'm sure that the guy's not gonna be even vaguely upset. I'm sure that there's no combat at the end of this interaction. It'll be fine. There's Pernisk. Alright, Pernisk. Let's do it up, man. Who the hell are you? Please move along. What?
I'm here.
The hell up. I'll move along when I want. I do what I want. Alright. Time to go talk to Pernisk. I want to point out that's the game. It's not me. Alright. Save it. Alright, Pernisk. Where are you? Oh, addict. Okay. That's fine. Where's Pernisk, though? Wait. Whoa, my gosh. It's a drug den. Svef. I'll just take that. Ladies and gentlemen, an opium den. Mercenary. Oh, God. Look at this. All of these people are going to come attack me. Alright, bro.
How do you do?
The man before you flashes you a toothy and rather unpleasant grin. Hello, Terrahawk. Yes, I do think it's worth buying for a playthrough. So far, I have liked the storyline for sure. I have liked the storyline quite a bit. It really is the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate. A lot of games have claimed to be. I think this really is that. I just entered Act 2, so, I mean, I've obviously got a long ways to go in the game yet, but so far I'm very impressed with it. There's a few rough edges here and there, but for the price, yeah, I would strongly recommend it. I think it's very well done. I am very much enjoying it. And welcome, by the way. Well now, a new face. Welcome, friend. Name's Pernisk. And this is my humble abode and place of business. Because my name is Scarface, and say hello to my little... Okay. And I do hope you're in here to do some business. He glances at the nearby guard. Kainra asked me to give you this. Nice. What's this for? You don't recognize the wedding band you gave Kenra? Oh yeah, I see now. She's making a statement, is she? Good riddance to her then. Sorry I ever spent the coin to begin with. Damn, son. Now, is that all? Let's see. Seems a difficult thing to forget, giving your grandmother's ring to someone. Maybe she's just not worth remembering, eh? Well, you're playing lapdog for her and all. Why don't you go back and tell her to keep clear of here? She seemed to care for you. Why are you doing this? Plenty of stars in the sky. Tell her to go set up in the salty mast if she's feeling lonely. Pernice shrugs. Me and her are done. How dare you hit your own fiancé? How can you live with yourself? She was asking for it. Sort of like you right now. Maybe you ought to quit digging around in affairs that don't concern you. Me, I've got business to get back to. Door's that way. Let's talk about something else. Good. Back to business, yes? I keep it simple. If you have the coin, I have the Svef. No problem, Tara. You're free to make sense use of the premises so long as you don't do anything stupid and you don't get to tangling with the other customers. Now, what can I get you? What's Svef? You serious? Svef's worth every pound, my friend. It's incredible. Lets you see your own soul, and you're looking at Defiance Bay's first and foremost Svef merchant. Let's talk about Kenra. I don't know when to drop the subject. Why are you doing this? Okay. Something's weird here. He's like possessed or something. Something is weird here. I'm gonna find it out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some CSI. Alright, let's find out what's going on. Top floor is off limits? Really? Top floor is off limits? Exactly where I want to be. You can turn right back around. The lower floor is all yours, but nobody goes upstairs. Why not? Because you'll be breathing through new holes in your neck if you head up there, that's why. Just mind your own business. Once you're on the Svef, you're not going to much care where you are anyway. Any chance you could look the other way? I do like the view over this way. Haha! Little bribe action. Sup? Alright, guys. We're about to find out what's on the top floor. Let's find out what's going on here. In this den. All of a sudden you hear the music from New Jack City.
And what does the flame reveal?
I like my stealthy army of people. We're all gonna be stealthy, all 8 of us, plus the dog. Oh. What do you have to say, Alan?
Dozens. Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the god.
Think so, Smacky?
Too bad, too. Then there'd be less of them.
Why do they call themselves the Dozens? It was 12 Deerwoodens stood outside Halget's Citadel waiting for Weidman to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. The Godhammer? That's what they called the bomb they blew up Weidman with. I knew that already. Don't know much about it other than that. Anything kills a living god, guess you gotta name it. What do you have against the Dozens? Ah, nothing serious. Nothing I don't have against a lot of folks anyway. The Dozens, they like to take things into their own hands. Gets ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home there. They picked that name so they could do what they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke Magrin too, and they especially want to feel right. Somehow I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set them on fire anytime they use her name, but the gods probably got rules against that kind of thing. Let's see. People hide behind symbols. I get a question. There we go. Sure, I just can't think of any off the top of my head. I shouldn't say that. There's a group of Aethasians, the Night Market. They still do right by their god. Helped get a lot of people to safety during the purges. They're easy to forget about, though, because they have to work in secret. You can thank people like the Dozens for that, too. Alright, that was interesting. Okay. So we're gonna stealth it up a little bit here. And I need to find out who's got the most stealth. Stealth 7. Definitely not him. Nope. 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 Okay, that's what I thought. It's my boy. My main man.
Yes? Of course.
Whoa, whoa.
Let's see what lies this way.
Alright, we got a potion of major regeneration. That's nice. 363 gold. And this. That's nice, although I wasn't really looking for... That's going to go to you. Practically have nothing so far. Alright, what's going on with this? With the mention of the name Widewind, most folk think only... Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I've already seen this one. Never mind. I was hoping for, like, information, but... I want to find out what's going on here. 105 gold. Adir Customs. Country rich with custom and known for their strict adherence to them. Their customs run the gamut from grand celebrations like the Feast of Feasts. I know, right? With intent? For sure, man. The Feast of Feasts. That's what I want, people. The Feast of Feasts. You want a feast, or do you want the Feast of Feasts? Let's see. This volume will focus primarily on bigger celebrations, as no one knows how to throw an extravagant party quite like an Adiran. The Feast of Feasts. The biggest and most important of all Adiran customs is the Feast of Feasts. This week-long celebration happens the first week of Fonestu, deep summer, and is dedicated to honoring the life of the first Fairkenig. Each day of the week is devoted to some aspect of the Fairkenig's life, and there are very specific dishes to be served at each meal. The Feast of Feasts originally began as a festival celebrating the birth of the Fairkenig's first son, and soon became a yearly occurrence during the week of his birthday. Currently, Adirans simply use it as an excuse for a party and pull out all the stops in an effort to outdo the previous year. And lest you wonder, as I did, which Fairkenig is honored during the Feast of Feasts, it is always the current Fairkenig, for each Fairkenig is the first and only Fairkenig. Okay? Sweet Treat, a special custom that arose at some point during the Feast of Feasts. Sweet Treat started as a way to keep children occupied so the parents could dine in peace. While it is still used for that today, significance has been added to it. Each treat is placed in a container, usually small metal boxes, and hidden somewhere on the property. After everything has been hidden, the children are sent out to find the treasures. It is said now that the hidden treats represent Glanfinthan artifacts, and the children are the explorers, bringing the riches back to their new and rightful owners. Oh, nice. So they get their kids involved in colonization early. I love it. Carnival of the Mask. When the original colonists for Adir traveled to the new land and found the Deerwood in the name of the Adiran Fairkenig, they encountered the Glanfinthan people. The Carnival of the Mask celebrates this meeting. Originally, it was merely a formal reenactment as a play of the tensions between the Glanfinthans and Adiran settlers, but it's since evolved into much more than that. It's Thanksgiving! It's Thanksgiving. I can get down with that. A little turkey. Participants choose sides and come dressed in elaborate outfits depicting which group they've decided to align themselves with, the Adirans or Glanfinthans. Everyone attends a masquerade ball, and this party replaces any semblance of the play that was presented. And Winter's End. Winter's End was never anything more than an excuse for a celebration, and it hasn't changed in all the years it has existed in Adir. It takes place during winter dusk and lasts all 3 days. People use the time to reflect on the years, celebrate their lives, and remember the dead, especially those who have passed in the recent year. Yeah, Thanksgiving, Easter. Exactly. I love the lore. However, it's not helping me find out what's going on in this place. If I can't find it, I'm going to need to attack him, so... Alright.
Hey. I'm here.
Alright.
I'm here.
Ooh, wow. We got some stuff going on here. Okay,
What?
you. Right.
Hey.
And knock down. Oh, boy. That's problematic.
What?
Okay. Looks like my guys are kind of wrecking face.
Settle.
Wow. Giblet! Oh my gosh. Wow. Alright, that was not difficult. That was not a problem. Oh my god. Okay. And a rusty bronze key. Wow. That was,
Indeed.
that was not a big deal. These jars are chipped and cracked as if knocked to the ground and set back in place. Appears as though someone rummaged through this uneven row of books in a hurry. I wonder if that dude is a shapeshifter. I bet that guy is a shapeshifter. I bet that's not even the real Pernisk or whatever his name is. Adiran dialects, huh? The sun does not set in the Adiran language. Those of us who commune with this proud language or some derivation of it populate every corner of Eora. Most of us who speak this wonderful tone know it as Adiran tongue, but scholars and those obsessed with correctness often qualify it as modern or contemporary Adiran. This is to contrast the language you and I speak today with Eld Adiran, the old elven language that was spoken in the Adiran Empire back before the pioneers settlers of the Dyrwood built their longships. If Eld Adiran could be considered the mother of the living Adiran, the language of Hylespeak could be seen as Adiran's cousin. Hylespeak is fading from common use, but many of the elves, especially the older ones in the Adiran heartland, still use this dialect. Whether you know it or not, if you can read these words, you can understand Hylespeak. It is almost identical to Adiran, but includes a large vocabulary of archaic words that have fallen out of use in today's Adiran. When you hear bards sing old Adiran poems, there are often lines of chorus that sound like melodic nonsense inserted to complete rhymes. These are usually instances of words that are lost from our common language, but still used in Hylespeak. While Hylespeak is familiar to speakers of so-called modern Adiran, the same cannot be said of our language's predecessor. Eld Adiran is a dead language spoken by academics but not used in any major community. And as we know, if academics like something, clearly you want to ignore it, right? I mean, who's with me? Am I right? Eld Adiran words are often familiar to Adiran readers, but the words use orthography that has since been abandoned. Unfamiliar accent marks maybe, abound. For example, Eld Adiran contains some diphthongs that have no place in the modern Adiran, as well as a few tricky consonant clusters. Ia creates an Ea sound that sounds like the colloquial salutation, Heya! Oh my god, it's Nuber. Heya! Eo sounds like Io. The sound is still used in the modern words Iora. I is pronounced as I, such as Wraith. Right? Wraith? Wraith? You and you both create long oo sounds as in a loop. You. That sounds like an E sounds in B, blah, blah, blah. Aldwin is pronounced Aldween. Durnish. Ish. Isk is SH. Yester. Sledge. Thiersch. Ushgrim. Ingmar. Messiah. Alright. So I'm clearly going to open it up and there's going to be some disaster in here, right? Let's do it. Let's find out what disaster is going to appear. Aha! The real Pernisk, I assume. Yes! Called it! I knew this wasn't the real Pernisk. A man lies, bound and bloodied, on the floor before you. His face is a tapestry of bruises, and blood is spattered across several corners of the room. The man cringes and sobs as you approach. Gods, please! Please, no more! I can't take any more! I'm not here to hurt you. The man pauses, gazing up at you. You're not? Oh, praise Bareth! You're not one of his men, are you? He glances nervously behind you. He shakes his head. Please, I don't know who you are, but my name is Pernisk. This is my house. You have to help me. Then who was that downstairs? An imposter. Some wizard named Nerid. He came into my house, tied me up in here, tortured me. And now he and his men are eating my food, breaking my things, selling svef inside my own house. He blinks. This would be a lot easier if you weren't trying to hide something. Pernisk looks away, unable to meet your gaze. I may have hung on to a tiny portion of my supplier's share, but I needed that money. What exactly happened? He sent over the wizard Nerid, the man downstairs. Pernisk shudders. To make up the lost copper, I guess, and to hurt me while he was at it. It feels like it's been days. What do you need me to do? I can't go out there, not while he's downstairs. I've been tied up for the gods know how long. Please, you have to kill him. Maybe I can convince him to leave. You don't know him, what he's capable of. You'll see soon enough. All right. I think I know what I'm capable of. So, one side of the overtone vase is splotched with crimson. Someone has gathered sheets and towels into a makeshift bed. The rumpled fabric is stiff with blood and unwashed sweat. All right. So this guy did something stupid. Now it's time to confront Pernisk with it. I mean, the fake Pernisk. Oh, Pernisk. You're back. Anything I can do for you? I found the man you tied up upstairs, the one also claiming to be Pernisk. That's so. Shame you had to go digging around, friend. Because now I can't exactly let you leave, can I? Oh, God. I was getting tired of pretending to be that sad sack anyhow. Guards! Hold on, maybe we can come to an arrangement. What do you propose? I propose? Screw off. This is gonna be fun.
Yes?
What?
Whoa! Stop! What's up, Shadow? So I get into a fight, and he's like, God, stop! I give up. Just leave it. I'll go peacefully, alright? Too late.
Following your lead.
Oh, I still need to... Okay.
Yes?
Alright. Oh, God.
How may I help? Perfect work from rock.
My guy's got some issues. Durance. What's taking so long with this guy? Would you please hurry it up? Take this guy down, man. Thank you. Alright, let's focus our attention, please. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What?
What's up, Shadow? Okay. Let's see.
Yes?
How may I help?
Fireball.
Lava will be on.
There we go.
Dead on.
Okay, this is fine, but he still needs to be healed. Alrighty. Haha! Giblet! Alright. Well, that went well. That was just fine. Oh my gosh, with the stuff. Okay. Very nice, very nice. That's what I like to see. Okay. So let's see. That's better. Herod's Grimoire. What has he got here? Eldritch Aim. I like that. And what else? Mirrored Image. I already had that. All right. Lovely. Combat only. Eldritch Aim. Humble Origin Bundle. Wow. Nice. Spirit Shield, Jolting Touch, Fan of Flames, Minor Missiles. I like that Bounding Missiles thing. That was pretty good. I was pleased with that. West of Tattered Veil. Right. Don't understand that. Expose vulnerabilities. Crackling Bolts. That's fine. Second level. Mirrored Image. Not really interested in that. Okay. Alright, it's fine. Lovely. To my beloved Kenra. Okay, the real guy is free to go. And he's not the only one. That's stealing, really? Oh, you guys are still there? Hi! Should have just stayed walked away, son. Wow. Should have stayed walked away. Just not... It was not a wise decision. That was not a wise decision. Alright, Pernisk. I saved your ass, so... Next time, keep it on the straight and narrow, bro. Is it done? Is he dead? He's already taken care of. I can't believe this nightmare is finally over. You've no idea what you've done for me, but... I need to find my love, Kenra. Only, after whatever Nibrid put her through, I'm afraid she won't give me a chance to explain. But she might listen to you. Please, she must be somewhere in Copper Lane. It's the only home she's known. And please, don't tell her about the Svef. About what I do. I could make it worth your while. A discount, maybe. Kenra sent me here in the first place. She did? That woman helped save my life without realizing it. Please bring her home and tell her that everything is back to normal. I'll go talk to her. I can't thank you enough, truly, how I've missed my poor Kenra. I mean, I'll find her, but I'm not necessarily going to tell her that he hasn't been dealing... Pernish? Is it Pernish? What did I say? Pernisk? Yeah, Pernish. You're right, based on what I just read. What's up, Doctor? I don't know about that. Wolves are faster than bears, and they do more damage than bears do. But bears are tanks. I mean, bears basically can take a lot of abuse. I actually added a couple of traits to make my wolf stronger, and that definitely helped, because especially early on, I needed more tank characters. Then I got Ader, and I got these other guys, and so, you know, it worked out. But so for role-playing reasons, I wanted to have a wolf anyway, but... Yeah. That's right, Pernish. You're right. All right. I gotta go talk to her, but I feel like I should tell him that... I should tell her that, like, yes, he was a Svef dealer, whatever, but he's not a bad dude. He wasn't the one who, like, hit you.
Sagani, does your fox bite?
Yes.
Can I pet him anyway?
It's your hand.
I'm gonna pet him.
See, that banter was okay, but I want a lot more of that. Like, I want a lot more of that sort of thing. Ah? Yeah, like in cat. Let's see. What happened with Pernish? Did you give him the ring? Let's see. Pernish was being impersonated by a powerful wizard. However, the real Pernish also deals Svef. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Pernish? My Pernish is a Svef dealer. If I didn't know you for an honest man. Damn it! How can I trust him after something like this? That he's lied to me for this long. I should just be glad I found out about this before the wedding. Let's see. Right now he needs help and forgiveness. You think I could help him turn around? I hadn't thought of it that way. She sighs. You really do see the best in everyone. Minor positive. I appreciate what you've done for us, and I'm certain Pernish feels the same way. You're always welcome to come see us if you need anything. Oh, and take this. She unclasped something from her neck. Picked it up from one of the merchants to help me stand firm in my decision. I'll be fine without it now. Yeah! I told the truth, but she's gonna stick with him. There you go. I convinced her to give Pernish a second chance. Complete victory. Okay, now what the hell is this? Unwavering resolve. Whoa. Intellect +2, resolve +1. That's nice. Young Tolino Keel and his father were ambushed by Vithrak whilst on their way to Twin Elms. Before the child even registered the strange arachnids, his father thrust something into his hands and told him to run. As he turned to flee, the creatures blasted him with psionic energy. Tolino's mind reeled, nearly overcome by his insidious power. Suddenly, he was pulled back to his immediate surroundings. Half sprinting, half stumbling away from the Vithrak and his stricken father, Tolino made it to the edge of town before he collapsed. The town guards were baffled at how the child had withstood the attack. The item his father had given him was an old silver medallion. It was barely worn and missing its chain, and the words, "Do not yield to fear," were barely visible upon its surface. As soon as he came of age, Tolino joined the personal guard of a local thane. When he did, he strung it on a thin silver chain and commissioned a priest to enchant the medallion with additional protective wards. Tolino went missing years later whilst on an expedition in the White March. Nice. And I love that. I love that because she did that, right? I'm probably going to do that, actually. 2 intellect, 1 resolve. I love that because that's exactly why she needed it. Unwavering resolve, you know, to convince her. That's awesome. Actually, you know what? Let's switch this up a little bit. Oh, damn it. Switch this up a little bit. You, I want the healing bonus. You, fortitude, reflex, and will. And you, instead of will +10, intellect +2. That's going to be very nice on his AoE. Will +10. And I'll give that to you. There you go. Isn't it cute? You look Jewish with Scottish flares. Okay. Thanks, I guess. But I guess I appreciate the compliment. Let's see. All right, cool. That was cool. It was a cool little mini quest. All right. So I've still got the Wodika thing. That's in the other. Okay, let's see what else there is to do in this district. Before I head over there, I want to find out a little bit more about the district I'm in. Oh, wait. Before I do anything, actually, I think I want to. Well, actually, maybe I don't need to rest. How many spells? He's got 4 and 4.
On your word.
You don't have any spells left. Why does he not have any spells left? Why not? Thank you for the follow, Doctor. Welcome to the Arvanauts. Thank you so much.
I'm here.
Right. You don't have anything in particular.
Got it.
Okay. That's
Yes?
fine. On we go. On we go. All right. I'm going to check out this amphitheater. Actually, no, I take it back. I want to check the marketplace first. Then I will go to the amphitheater. Well, no, that's all right. I'll do the amphitheater first, then I'll go over to the marketplace. Thanks, apples. Whoa. Got a battle going on here. Or no, theater. Yep, theater. It's time for a little work in the theater. Let's find out. Benches are strewn with chicken bones, broken bottles, and greasy scraps of paper. Understudy.
Ready, Watcher.
The statuesque woman has a gaze that could cut stone. She turns her chiseled cheekbones to the sky and favors you with a look of acknowledgement. Her eyes shimmer under silvered eyeshadow and a razor-precise line of kohl. Before you can speak, she throws her hand up in dramatic fashion. Autographs after the performance, please. Great art requires great concentration, and greatness is expected from the revel of the stars. What do you do? That depends entirely on the demands of the role. She lays a slender hand on her chest. I am the Pallid Knight, the Widow of the Wood, and the Warrior Queen Mogcha, all at different times. To live a different life each day is a glorious thing indeed, my friend. I suppose I can spare a moment for a fan. What's the Revel of Stars? We are the finest theater troupe in the city. We believe that the best art is immersive and true to life. We stage our performances right here in Copper Lane for the edification of all. Has the Revel of Stars taken many new members? But of course! Good drama is a balm to the soul, and we wish to offer a true theatrical experience to as many as possible. What kind of members do you take? We'll take in the new and the old, the tall and small, the experienced and inexperienced, whoever is best suited to fulfill a role to the utmost. How long do you keep members? As long as they are able to satisfy the demands of their roles. True acting can be a grueling process, so some last longer than others. Okay. Farewell. I'm totally up for it. Want to join this troupe. Want to do some live theater. Want to talk about? Who the hell are you? Sorry, I can't talk right now. Yes, you can. You can and you will.
Right.
Just gonna run right on stage. Sup? Our audience wishes a closer look. What's up? I'm not interfering with your... Actually, I assume this is a rehearsal since there's like 5 people in this entire place.
Greetings.
Yes?
Am I interfering at all? Here, let me help you guys out. Be over this way. do you guys think? Is this okay? Or how about here? How about now? How about now? Or now? How about now? 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 Don't let me get in the way. I'm just you know, checking it out. Being immersed. That's disappointing. I wanted to join the troop. Man. I want to get part of the troop. Alright, here we are in the marketplace. Alright, time to spend some coin, people. The young woman stands by a cart, watching the crowd with large, bright eyes that focus on you as you approach. Take your time, traveler. If you're looking for enchanted scrolls or garb, you've come to the right place. What do you got? Ooh, look at it. What? 14,000 gold? Seal of Faith, +1 first level spell uses, +1 second level spell uses, +1 third level spell uses. Okay, that's Telda's Ring, Ring of Wizardry, +2 second level, 1 plus fourth level. Wow. Okay, Ring of Deflection. That's just, yeah, I already know what that is. Summon Delumgan. Wow, 15,000? That is pricey. What about you? Oh! This is the woman that I tried to help, and I helped by lying to her about the refugees that took her stuff. Hello again. Thanks for visiting my store. I'm still trying to recover from losing that cargo. My inventory isn't what it used to be, but hopefully I've got something you'll like. Show me your wares. I'm sure that I'd love every part of it. I already have one of these? That's a lot of traps. Nope, not interested, sorry. The merchant smiles brightly. Well met, traveler. Are you interested in purchasing any rations for your journey? Okay, we got dragon meat. Whoa, 37.50. +3 resolve, +3 might for 157. And the dragon egg, +3 resolve. Alright, that's cool. What about you? Commoner. What about you, Igrin? Igrin stands behind a stall, polishing a broadsword. The patterned flesh around his eyes is crinkled with age, and the muscles in his arms are knotty and lean, but he holds the weapon with ease. He nods at you. Come to take a look? You won't find a finer collection of armor and weaponry in Defiance Bay. Outside Sunhills, of course. What's so special about Sunhild? She operates in the Expedition Hall. Sells the best equipment in the city, but Wenning keeps her on a short leash. Keeps her fine inventory reserved for chartered expeditionists, members of the Dozens, and anything else he takes a liking to. Let me see what you have for sale. Ooh. Warbow, two-handed. 50 to 23 pierce, fist deflection. Oh, it's draining. Attack stun on crits. Oh, man. That's awesome. And it's 14,000 gold. I mean, you know, if I have to have it, you know. The Lady's Hand. Scepter, two-handed. 10 to 16 crush, slash, 10 accuracy when below 50% endurance. I hate this thing when you get lower, then all of a sudden you become more powerful. I'm not down with that. The pike two-handed, that's nice, but I don't use pikes. What about Shatter